when Cherargei says that Ruto's re-election is a sure bet, where is he going to get the votes? And that's why Ruto is very mad again with Natembeya. Because Natembeya is consolidating the Luhya vote. And I can tell you, Ruto has no votes in Luhya land. Ruto has lost all the votes in the mountain. And so, elected by who? And Raila will either be running or there will be a presidential candidate from ODM. Ruto will not garner even more than 2 million votes. So, when you say his election is a sure bet.
Let me balance this first. Let me balance this.
If IEBC messes up elections and forces Ruto on Kenyans, then there'll be consequences more grave than those of 2007. Simply. But they are taking the second part about the consequences. Nobody will tell you from that side where Senator Cherargei belongs. Nobody will tell you about the first part, rigging the elections. Because that is a condition that Rigi was talking about. That if you rig elections, he's becoming the heckler. He has been condemning here. He's becoming the heckler. You never heard me raising a point of order. Take a pen and a paper. You are the person here. So please write. So nobody will tell you about 2000. I mean, what the first part of Rigi's statement. And I find that very, 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 very pretentious. I mean, and you know, just arguing to your convenience and to, you know, to throw hatred at Rigi. Now, you have done something very good to ask him. And this NCIC, by the way, I don't think it's an independent commission, because if you are talking about, if NCIC is summoning Rigathi Gachagua for just saying that, elections in 2027 should not be, you know, rigged. I mean, we have had Kamket, Honorable Kamket, say that they know how to manufacture a president for 24 years. NCIC did not summon or even raise any word against Kamket. We have had Sudi say that they cannot have a president for just one term. It has never happened. Ruto must do a second term. Senator Cherargei, seated here, is reported to have said, sisi hatukuja hii town ati kufanya kazi kwa muhula mmoja. This Senator Cherargei is seated here. So, I mean, when you are uttering words, or when leaders have uttered words, which actually imply that it is not the results of the election of 2027 that will determine who becomes president, but other factors, best known to Senator Cherargei here, Honorable Kamket, Honorable Sudi, and you do not think as NCIC or as Kenyans supporting William Ruto, you do not think that that is something that is already causing panic amongst Kenyans. And I talked about it in the Senate the other day, and Senator Cherargei here, rose on a point of order and pretended not to understand a very simple English word, fierce, just because of the convenience. So what we are saying is, if NCIC wants to be seen as an impartial body, anybody who utters words to show that the presidency in 2027 will not be determined by the results of the election, but other matters should be summoned. And I would like Senator Cherargei, when he comes back, to address the first part of Regi's statement, that whether there are plans to rig the elections. Because it is only, he said that 2027 will be worse than 2007 if the elections are messed up with. Let them address that. The other thing that we must say, because I have listened very keenly to Senator Cherargei, and you know, I don't interrupt people when they are talking, even when they tear me apart. I mean, he has said that those of us that are on this other side, that we are sensing defeat, that Ruto's re-election is a sure bet. Trevor, Senator Cherargei is a smart person. He is a trained lawyer. He can be able to do some calculations. Where will President Ruto get the votes? President Ruto won over Raila Odinga by a margin of about 200 and something thousand votes. President Ruto has lost all the votes in the mountain, almost 4 million. President Ruto, you know, is now, and the chest thumping that you see Senator Cherargei with is because of ODM support. And they believe that they will get the support of ODM. That is why he's saying it's a sure bet. But, and I think I had indicated it before, Trevor, listen to what Sifuna is saying. If I were Cherargei, if I were President Ruto, I would get very worried. I would not celebrate what I hear from Oburu Odinga, for example, and I have a lot of respect for Oburu Odinga, but Oburu Odinga is already a big beneficiary of the broad-based government. I would not listen very keenly to Oburu Odinga.
What is the difference?
No. Oburu Odinga's son has already been appointed as an advisor of William Ruto. Oburu Odinga, there are rumors. These are unconfirmed, and if they are not true,
rumors here. What I'm trying.
Okay, yes, he is a beneficiary. He's a beneficiary. The son, following the...
want the president to listen to Sifuna, but not to Oburu.
Yes, to Sifuna. Yes, that's what I was going to explain. That Sifuna has not directly benefited from this broad-based government, and therefore he is, you know, more realistic in his assessment. So when Sifuna tells you that Ruto will lose with or without Raila, Sifuna has said that.
Why is when
Sifuna tells you, Sifuna is the Secretary General of ODM. When Sifuna tells you that ODM will be fronting a presidential candidate in 2027, I think if I were Ruto, if I were Cherargei, I would listen more to the Secretary General of a party than other leaders who are direct beneficiaries of the party.